Okay, and we are back with another episode of Adrenaline. This one is probably going to be a bit shorter because it's a lot more matches than segments because we've got 4 tournament matches that take up a fair amount of time. But we've got 19 segments instead of the usual. We usually have about 24, 25. And we've got a couple pre-show matches, so we're going to get straight into it with Zaya Brookside in a pretty... Actually, that match is better than... I think they had a match a while ago, and it didn't do too well, like worse than that. But she defeats Brandy in 5:28 by pinfall with an iconoclasm. They have really good chemistry. And Brookside with a 36, which has definitely gone up. And Brandy with a 22. Brandy improves in performance. Great. Negatives for Brandy's negative crowd reaction. Bye Brandy. No push for you. So also, I've released, I think, about 15 people. Couple knockouts. So like Sienna, Laurel Van Ness, Alexia Nicole, just because I wasn't going to use them, which is weird because I brought Alexia in and then was like, I have way too many knockouts because there are a few others I've signed that are going to be used, and that is going to be later. But yeah, and the biggest male name was probably Moose. So no one big's gone, no one like Pete Dunne. Yeah, they're all still here. Just, yeah. So, and DJZ left a long time ago. I don't think I ever said that on camera though. So we move into the next match, which is not too bad. Better than the last match. It had terrible wrestling, great, and non-existent crowd heat. Ayako Hamada and Brooke Tessmacher defeated Angelina Love and Sammy Lane in 8:04 when Brooke Tessmacher defeated Angelina Love by pinfall with a spinning headlock elbow drop. That's an interesting move. Ayako carried the match. She's got really, really good in-ring skills, like better than most of our like male mid-carders. And Sammy was the weak link. That's alright because she was just a one-night only person. Brooke with a 31, Ayako with a 43, Sammy with a 20, and Angelina also with a 31. No worker improvements. Negative for inconsistency and chemistry, basically. No negative crowd reactions, which is good. And our next match is Trevor Lee defeating Anthony Bennett in 7:51 by pinfall. Trevor Lee is a lower mid-carder, and he's our X Division champion, so he needs to get some wins, or we need to pass the belt on. Still undecided which I want to do, because I have plans for like a huge storyline for Lee, but he needs to have the belt, but he needs to be a bit more over. It was actually supposed to be taking place now, but because he's only like a mid-carder, I thought I'll hopefully just push it back a month or two. But Lee with a 42, and Bennett with a 30. Bennett is just treading water until Leo Rush comes back, and then maybe they'll start defeating people, because they were brought in as a jobber tag team with the whole they were going to be built up in the future, which is funny because the future's their tag. No, never mind. Because I'm a pretty big fan of Rush, and Bennett's 22, Rush is 21. They've got plenty of time. But Trevor Lee improves in performance skills. All good there. Negatives only for Bennett. That's good. And one for Lee. Never mind. Next segment is Red Dragon defeating the Bromans in 8:32 when Bobby Fish defeated Robbie E by pinfall with a moonsault. Bobby carried the in-ring performance. So yeah, Kyle O'Reilly has a herniated disc in his back, yet he's still working through it. So that's beast right there. So that's why his ratings are low. 31, Fish with a 57. And Jesse and Robbie with all 30, 38. Jesse improves in performance skills though, Yeah, unfortunately, because I like these guys are probably borderline release unless I find something proper to do with them. Yeah. If I get a development, they'll be going down now. Next segment is our pre-show main event. And Kota Ibushi does defeat Marshe Rocket in 5-12 by pinfall with a Phoenix Splash. It's better than a 630 senton. D plus 50, it's not great. Ibushi with a 54 and Rocket with a 31. No worker improvements. And the only negative was Marshe's poor performance. So, I'll take that. And so we start the show with Storm making his way into the arena, but he is jumped by Bram, who beats him down and nearly breaks Storm's arm again before he's chased off by road agents. So, yeah, this storyline is far from over. Bram's like, he's still pissed that he lost it against All Odds. No remorse, not against All Odds. And yeah, tries to break Storm's arm again. This is not over. Storyline advances, no worker improvements. Rating could have been a bit better. C minus 55 is not great, but I'll take it. And it's just a local jobber match, so it's okay. Matt Riddle does continue his streak. He's about 17-0, I think. In 3-14 by submission with a guillotine choke. So he taps out Crimson, who will never be seen again. Especially with a 27. Riddle with a 48. Crimson with a 27. No worker improvements. Negative for Matt Riddle's inconsistency and because I had him dominate. Next. They don't click that. It's not the end of the world, but it's not great. So yeah, they don't click. The announcing and color commentary gave the match a boost. Taz and Borash were good at the announce desk. So I have Borash, Taz, and Mike Tenay. I think that's a really strong three-man team. Something that I think they should have that in the real Impact or something similar. Maybe not Taz, but I think definitely bringing Tenay back is a good idea. Banks has a 27, Tyler with a 55. The rise of Travis Banks storyline advances and gains heat. No worker improvements, unfortunately. But the only negatives were for Travis, which is good for Tyler. And Travis is a bit of a long-term project as well. And we move. So Tyler has picked up another win this week against Travis, who is still seeking his first win. He's 0-3. Bate rolls out of the ring and grabs a microphone. He's pissing himself laughing. He says, "See that? That's the best New Zealand has to offer, and he thinks he can hang with me. Travis, you don't belong here. Not now, not 5 years ago, not ever. Get out of my ring or else I'll embarrass you again. I'd say see you next week, but I don't expect to see you ever again. Cheerio." So yeah, Tyler being a proper bastard. Just being a proper prick, which is basically all of the front line are pricks. D plus 52 is not bad for something that has an enhancement talent and a mid-carder. Rise of Travis Banks does improve. And our first tournament match is Caristico defeating Eddie Edwards in 5:46 by pinfall with a La Mystica. So Caristico will go on to face the winner of Ricochet and Adam Cole. And during the match, we had Davey run in and attack Edwards. Great. The color commentary gave the match a boost. The match got the crowd hotter. Eddie with a 60, Caristico with a 64. And the world title and Wolves for Life storyline have both advanced with this. And they both improve in performance skills. That's good because Eddie needs to improve. Negatives for just the odd heel-face combination and Caristico being a wee bit inconsistent. And so after the match, Eddie is now out of the tournament thanks to Davey, who comes back in and continues beating down on Eddie. We hear him yelling, he told Eddie to stay away. And now that he's made his choice, Davey will end his career. And eventually, Davey walks off. He's satisfied. He's like, yeah, of course, enough destruction for now. C61 is not a bad rating. I do want to get them into the C+ or B- range before this ends. I'm not going to extend it until it gets to there, but I hope to get them to that point of being over. Wolves for Life storyline advances. No negatives. Moving on to Scarlett defeating Kaylee Ray in 7:45 by pinfall with a bedazzler. D plus 48 is actually not terrible. It's not good. It's not terrible. Scarlett with a 39 and Kaylee with a 41. No worker improvements. Only negatives were for inconsistency and poor psychology. And we're constantly getting a very hot crowd, which means that for where we are, like, as a company, we are in a good place. Like, our popularity will be rising. We'll be getting closer to being national, which is good. Next segment is a really, really good match. That is our second highest rated match. Our highest rated match was Cody versus Aaron Rex in week 2 of our save, which was a B minus 73. So good stuff. That's it's only just cracked a B minus, but it's a B minus. So Adam Cole defeats Ricochet in 12:08 by pinfall with a freaking sweet driver. I have updated Cole's moveset, so there are, so he's not doing a flying crossbody and beating like Austin Aries with a flying crossbody. There are a lot of moves he doesn't have in real life, but it's fantasy booking. Got the crowd buzzing. Cole with a really good 72. Ricochet with a 54. Bullet Club storyline has advanced. No worker improvements, unfortunately, but only negative was Ricochet's stamina. So I'm really happy with that. And of course, it advances the story, which will keep that story above the 59C it's got to meet. And we have a pre-recorded video from Braxton Sutter, which I have made an error in, but that's alright. He says, "Hi, Decay. I'm here in England, so don't bother looking for me tonight. However, next week," it was meant to be 2 weeks, but that's alright. I'll push everything forward 1 week. "Next week is fair game. I'll be at Impact, but I won't be alone." So who's he bringing in? Is he bringing anyone in? Is he bringing someone back? Who knows? You have to find out next week. D plus 49, and building up the Decay, building up Braxton, the storyline actually advances and gains heat. So it actually gains heat, not actually advances. Of course, it did advance, which is good because that storyline has been losing heat. So maybe I should just have Braxton cut promos. And our next tournament... No, not our next tournament match. We have Rosemary sitting backstage, and she's confronted by Brooke. And Rosemary's like, "What do you want?" Brooke says, "Last week, I beat your last 2 challengers in the middle of that ring, and one of them was the former champion before you, who only vacated because of injury. And I think that makes me eligible for a title shot. So I'm laying the challenge out next week, Brooke versus Rosemary." And Rosemary goes, "Of course. I'll see you next week." And she walks off, and Brooke is just stunned. She's like, "That was really easy. Too easy." C plus 66, the I Want That Title storyline has advanced and gained heat with the segment, so I'm going to book that in, and we'll be right back. So yeah, we've got that booked in, and we'll move on to what should our be... Nope. Paul. He has a 92 microphone rating, so he should be getting like B minus segments, but a C plus is not a bad rating. It's just not great for him. Because Charlie's not even rated. It's literally just Paul. Anyway, we see Heyman watching a monitor backstage when he's approached by Charlie Caruso, and she says, "Excuse me, Mr. Heyman, I was wondering if you could provide any update on your talent search." And he says, "Of course. It's wonderful to see you, by the way," because obviously they both worked in the World Wrestling Entertainment, which is a stupid bloody name. World Wrestling Federation. Imagine someone saying, "I'm the World Wrestling Entertainment Champion." It just doesn't work. World Wrestling Federation Champion is much better. I know they had to make a change, but I don't know. Yeah. Not a favourite decision of mine to go to E. There are probably better initials to go to. Anyway, that is completely off track. Well, I've been very impressed with what I've seen so far. Austin Aries, Chris Sabin, Davey Richards. I'm certainly spoilt for choice. As to who I've chosen, that will have to wait, my dear. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's a potential superstar I'm scouting in a matchup next, so I got to get back to this. Thanks. The ladies and gentlemen storyline has advanced with this segment. Decent rating. Whoever's in these segments with Heyman will get good, will get improvements, and they'll get more over because these are really good for these ratings are really good for half our roster. Anyway, this one's definitely a tournament match, and in our third tournament match of the night, equaling the Ricochet and Cole match. That word escaped me for a bit. Chris Sabin defeats Aaron Rex in 12:26 by pinfall with a cradle shock, so B-72. Sabin with a 58, Rex with a 67. The storyline advances. Aaron Rex improves in Rumble skills, and negatives just for Sabin's inconsistency. So Sabin will go on to face the winner of Aries and Lashley, which is in our main event. And so our final four are Sabin, Cole, Caristico, and Aries or Lashley. So it's not a bad final four. Next segment is not great, but it's character development. So Sabin advances in the tournament and he celebrates with the fans. So he jumps into the crowd and celebrates. He then cuts a promo from the audience. He says, "A couple years ago, I was here, where you all are, as a fan, but I decided I wanted to follow my passion and become a wrestler. Look at me now, in a tournament to win a World Heavyweight Championship," which I've spelt wrong. I was probably at 2 a.m., so that's why. "A title I've held before. But they don't remember the one-time champions. I'm going to win this tournament, and then at Slammiversary, I'm going to beat Cody Runnels and capture that title a second time. I'm not a one-hit wonder. I'm going to be the greatest world champion in history, and I'm doing it for you, the fans, but also for me." So yeah, just kind of deepening Sabin's character. He was a fan, and so he's like a fan's own. And Shelley's back now, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do with Sabin. I really don't want to split up the guns, so I might have them kind of be singles and tag. So Sabin and Shelley will have their own single storyline sometimes. Sometimes they'll be a tag team. I don't know. Do you guys think that'll work? If you've got any ideas for the guns, comment below. Tell me what you think I should do. Preferably, I don't want to split them, but if I have to, I might have to. If I have to, I might. The storyline advances, loses heat, unfortunately. Next segment is not a bad match. Not a bad match for Pete Dunne, like where he is at the minute. But Magnus is a main eventer, so that probably should have been a 65. Magnus does defeat Pete Dunne in 9:06 by pinfall with a Tormentum following botched interference by Drew Galloway. Magnus gets better at his gimmick. Magnus with a 59, Pete with a 48, and the storyline advances but loses heat. However, there are improvements, which is great. Magnus improves in technical, and Pete improves in performance. Negatives for Pete. Yeah, okay, so negatives for Pete Dunne and 1 for Magnus. So yeah, we can book in that Galloway will have a defend. This is what happens when you record at 10 o'clock at night. You forget words. Galloway will be defending against Magnus at Slammiversary. So I'm going to book that in, and we'll be. So that's our first official match for Slammiversary, and I think we've just got our main event after a segment or two. Oh right, yeah, I completely forgot about this match actually. So the Broken Hardys are in the ring for their open challenge, and Broken Matt Hardy says, "Yes, Who is going to answer the challenge that is open? It is, but he's interrupted by the music of EC3, who walks out onto the stage, and he says, "Now I know what you're gonna say. Ethan, you're not in a tag team." Well, I wasn't, but now, at least for now, for tonight, and possibly a bit onwards, I'm in a tag team with this man. And he steps aside, and his tag partner is revealed as none other than John Hennigan. So yeah, this should be a really good match. I'm actually expecting this to be the best match we've ever had. We Gotta Settle This storyline has advanced. C63 is not a bad rating, and shit, yes, that is the best match we have ever had. And it can be even better because the Broken Hardys draw with EC3 and John Hennigan in 12:37 following a double countout. So they've knocked off a few points for the finish. And that is a B79. That could be a B plus match with some build and with a proper ending. So yeah. Obviously, the Hardys have good chemistry. No negative or positive chemistry for EC3 and Jomo, but that's all right. As long as they didn't have negative chemistry, we were gonna be fine. Brother Nero with a 73, Matt Hardy with a 72, Hennigan with a 59, EC3 with a 66, and the storyline advances and gains heat. And awesome, those two guys who are younger, and we're going to have them for longer than we're going to have the Hardys. They both improve in performance skills, so that is great. So, Matt Hardy's on soft drugs, and he's drinking. That's really, really annoying. Actually, there's no negative for how the match ended, so I still think that with Brother Nero on his game, that could still be a B plus, because I think B plus is 82, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so we move into actually a pretty good rating that has me in it. Like the first ever segment I was in got like a 25 or something. We see Magnus backstage, and he's approached by me and Mandy, and I say, "Dude, that was sick. You just handed Dunn his first loss. You've got your match at Slammiversary." I nearly said SummerSlam. Galloway vs. Magnus for the grand title. If you ask me, I have a good feeling about it. I think you'll be the man to take the title off of Drew. And Magnus says, "Thanks, man. I've got a good feeling about this run. It's going to be good." I agreed to come back. I was sick of Drew treating everyone else like shit. If I can stop it, I'm bloody well going to, no matter the cost. And the two shake hands. So yeah, we've already booked in that match. The storyline advances. And unless our last segments bomb, we're going to have enough interesting storylines, which is good. And yeah, so the Hardy Boys Open Challenge probably should have main evented, but nothing I can do about it now. Good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Austin Aries advances by defeating Lashley in 11:47 by pinfall with a brainbuster following interference from Matt Riddle. So yeah, that rating will do that storyline a world of good. As you can see, the best crossover in history storyline has advanced and gained heat, and the Bullet Club for Life storyline has advanced. Definite lack of psychology, so that definitely came into it. And Lashley having a pretty weaker 59 to Aries 72. Aries improves in performance skills, which is great. Negatives, yeah, pretty much for Lashley. Actually, yeah, just for Lashley. That's not Austin's fault. I'm so glad we have Austin Aries. He is our number one franchise player. He is like the man right now. He's got us our highest rating, and yeah, his match against his match against Cole next week should be pretty good. Next segment. So we finished the show with a decent, not a decent, a pretty good rating. Aries advances after Riddle costs Lashley the match. He's one step closer to the main event of Slammiversary. However, Cody comes down to the ring with with Aries' next opponent. Yeah, I was very tired when I wrote this because I said Cole and then opponent. Adam Cole. Before they can do anything though, Sabin and Caristico run to the ring and the 5 men stare each other down. One of these 5 men will face Cody at SummerSlam. One of these 4 men will face Cody at SummerSlam. But will it be Aries, Cole, or Caristico, or Chris Sabin? So how I kind of picture this ending is all the guys in the tournament are in one corner each, and Cody's in the middle just holding his title up, and they're all looking at him like, I'm going to win it. Cole maybe is like, we're going to keep the title in the Bullet Club. And so the best crossover in history storyline advances, because obviously, I didn't have them on screen, but Lashley would have chased Riddle off or something. So that gains heat, which is great. And the Bullet Club for Life storyline advances. No worker improvements, but we should get a C+ of it. Yeah, C+ 68. Show increases our popularity in 29 regions. That's all I can ask for. That Broken Hardyz and EC3 and Hennigan should have main evented. To be honest, if we do that match again, it probably will main event. So I'm going to leave it there. It's been a pretty crazy few weeks for this. We've had a lot of debuts. We've got more debuts to come, but I'm not sure when I'm gonna fit them in. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment below. Your feedback is really super, super helpful. I want to thank Christian Styles for his long comments. I love reading them. When I upload them, I think if I can get a couple comments, especially if they're long like that I can read and just answer back to, that would be awesome. Also, Nunya Falls, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, has commented a couple times. Don't worry, Sudden Impact is not going away. They will be back. Whether they're going to have a manager or not, I'm not sure. And AGBFC, I do hope you continue watching. Unfortunately, this is the hopefully last of the kind of bulk recorded videos, and the next one should be up the next one should hopefully be recorded after this one has been uploaded. Comment below, tell me what your favourite storyline is, least favourite storyline, favourite superstars, why. Run through the show and give your thoughts on the show if you want. Just anything. And so I will see you guys in the next video.